We survived Snowmageddon. We're alive. Jersey Wrecking Crew's here, and Trendsetter, guess what? We are on the road to WrestleMania. That's right. What's that first stop, Trendsetter? That is the Royal Rumble. We got your Royal Rumble preview show here on the Give Shot Network. I'm Jeff Martin alongside my tag team partner, the Trendsetter. We are the Jersey Wrecking Crew, and this is HSP on Give Us a Shot Network. Make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode like this one. We're doing your Royal Rumble preview. We got Todd Collins, digital and social media strategist and marketer. He'll join us. He's a big fan of pro wrestling, and he will join us today. And we're going to preview the Royal Rumble with him today. Make sure you follow us on all our social media at iSpot Podcast. We are powered up by Bucked Up Energy, and I'm sure Todd would be happy with me because the product placement is perfect. Bucked Up Energy and the Jersey Wrecking Crew. That's right. Make sure you follow the link below and below in the description, and you get great offers by Bucked Up, brought to you by HSP. So that is the deal. Trendsetter, like I said, we are on the road to WrestleMania, and it's exciting times now. Now, listen, Trendsetter, I don't know about you, but a lot of people have been, I guess, down in the dumps because this promotion for the Royal Rumble has not been what it used to be in most years.
No.
I don't seem to have a problem with it, but a lot of people are saying this is the least hyped up Rumble in a while. What do you think, Trendsetter? Is this Royal Rumble hyped up enough?
Well, in terms of hyping up, it's an understatement. I think last year's was a better shot and better opportunity they had in terms of what they were working towards, because I'm sure everyone was looking forward to the whole Cena Cody thing. So they had any idea what one side was going to be. The other side for the world title was what everyone was kind of wondering. This one's kind of been lackluster, I must say. It feels like it snuck up on me a little bit in terms of that. I was looking forward to the title matches we're going to have, obviously AJ Styles and what's going to happen with him and Gunther. So this one's been kind of anticlimactic because, again, we're waiting for the returns of certain people to see if that's going to lead to where whoever's interpretation of what's going to happen leading to WrestleMania. So it's been very lackluster, to say the least.
Yeah, and I don't think it's such a big deal. I think a lot of outside factors, like, first of all, this stadium being built, like 30 days.
Oh, yeah.
So I think a lot of stuff happened, and, we will see what happens. But I think this is the kind of PLE that kind of hypes up itself. Everyone doesn't want to know who's going to be in the Rumble and stuff like that. People don't want to know. So the less is more, I guess, in this one. And I think that the Royal Rumble, once we get there that Saturday and we're a few hours away from it, I think the anticipation will draw near. And it's a special start time at 2 p.m. on the ESPN Plus app. And joining us right now, Trendsetter is our guest. He is a digital marketer and social media strategist for Beamed Media. He is also a consultant and public speaker, and he joins us now. Todd Collins, WWE fan, wrestling fan, joins HSP. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up, boys? How you guys doing?
Oh, man, you'd be proud of me, dude. We are powered by Bucked Up Energy, and the first thing I did was I put the thing they were marketing up first, so branding, right, and all that stuff, and make sure that there you go. Yeah. So, big fan of yours, dude. Followed you. A few months back, and I enjoy what you do. But first and foremost, man, just talk a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I started out in the online defamation world with a friend of mine. It was a weird business, and I think things have gotten better over the years with that type of stuff, as far as like online reviews and things like that. But that's kind of where I started the journey. And then that kind of twisted into the beginning of social media apps, actually, like businesses actually using social media apps. I'll age myself real quick. I'm 47. So I got to kind of see the birth of everything. And I just adopted all this stuff like really quickly. Because my gut was telling me like, hey, the more people I can reach, the more money I can make. And so I just put as much effort as humanly possible into understanding how they work. And then as I started to gain success with that, just like anything else with anything you do, other people start asking you to help them. And it just turns into a business. And that's really, quite honestly, like the story of everything. It was, this is how it started and this is where it went. Now, were there an abundance of failures in there? Oh, yeah. which in my opinion, I think helps people trust me and lets them know like, hey, I'm not going to put you in a position that I've ever been in. I can save you the time and the effort with those types of struggles. So those are the types of things that I'm doing now, which is great. I have a lot of more free time on my hands as I get older, and yeah, just enjoying time in the gym and doing jiu-jitsu and following wrestling and helping people out with their marketing. It's great. It's a great life.
Living the dream, Jeff.
Yeah.
Living the dream.
So obviously, me and Brian, what we do is kind of a DIY thing. We do the podcast, we do social media, we do all those avenues that we do to try to get this podcast up and running. And totally appreciate what you do. And obviously, you've taken some of your strategies that you put up on your social media, and we've kind of used it a little bit towards our podcast platform. And then when you liked our stuff, and I was like, "Oh, he's a wrestling fan too." So it's good to talk whatever. So we'll talk some wrestling here, some Royal Rumble. But
what are your funny, Todd, that wrestling connects all of us together in a certain way?
Dude, I mean, it's funny right now. Like that's a great example of where everything's heading. So like you guys are actually kind of ahead of the curve right now. And I was just having this conversation with my wife. I said, and just random. We went to the gym today, worked out, went and grabbed something to eat. We're talking business because she's my boss. And I just said, if you don't want to do this anymore, you don't have to. You can go do something else and, just do whatever you want. And she was like, no, I want to do this. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I just thought it was interesting, like, because I like what I do, but my hobbies now are really like my passion projects as I've aged up. So it's funny, you guys are like ahead of the curve. And so everything that I'm telling my clients now is I'm like, look, what are you into? Like, example, were you the biggest He-Man fan in the entire world ever in the 80s? Well, if you were, the new movie's coming out. It's going to be great. By the way, why don't you sit down with your kids, watch the old cartoons, maybe watch the modern cartoon, and then take them to see the movie? It would be really interesting, right? So I think like, even if you have a business, you show that as opposed to the business stuff. And people are just like, yeah, I want to do business with the people that have the same interests as me. And that's the world we live in now, period.
And you have to have a passion for it too, because there's going to be setbacks, and before you even succeed, I mean, there's going to be rarities where that people right off the bat, they'll just succeed, but there's going to be struggles. There'll be times where you want to quit, but it's got to be a passion. And this has been a passion of ours for the longest time. And, when we found out, hey, listen, man, we don't have to, social media is this, for most of part of it, it's free. So you have this platform where you can just market yourself. It's not back in the day, for example, with the wrestlers, we were talking about how they had to use tapes and all that stuff to trading work. Yeah, to tape trading. And now, boom, just go YouTube, go to TikTok, go to Instagram, and you can find their stuff there, and someone will find you. So it was really hard for pro wrestlers back there to market themselves. And right now, for us people that are DIY, it's very easy for us to market ourselves, but we just need to get pointed out in the right direction. And that's what obviously where you come into play though too. So what would be your advice to somebody who's starting out, or what would be maybe one do and one don't right now in social media that you would advise?
Oof. I would say the one major don't at this point is like, don't start anything and don't even create any content around selling anything until you've built like any type of audience. That would be the one don't that I would say. That's a recipe for failure. Unfortunately, it's one that's adopted by 90% of the people that try to do something, right? I have an idea. I need to sell it to make money. So it's a desperation play. And they immediately go to social media and go, I'm doing this now, I'm selling this. It's like, Jesus Christ, right out of the gate, okay? Like your life, you're struggling in life, right? So you can smell that a mile away. So that's the biggest don't that I have right now. The biggest do, like as of today, is take your content, put it into the Edits app on Instagram. This is like a straight up meta play, but super powerful right now. Edits app first, open the Reels tab inside Edits when you're done editing it, maybe adding one or two little things, maybe adding the music that's trending at the moment, like pointing up, pull it volume all the way down to 0. Share it to Instagram Reels, but share it to trial Reels first and do like 2, 3 of those a day, you'll grow your audience exponentially if you stick to that consistently, like over time. That's a huge play right now. And I'll give you an example. I myself, over the last like probably 72 hours, have put up like maybe about 4 million views between, I think, like 2 reels that started out as trial reels. And, you know, and there were a lot of psychological things that were placed there, like specifically to prove the point that you can do this. But I had a client of mine say, hey, I see all these people pulling the plastic out. He's a real estate agent, pulling this plastic out off their porch after we get a lot of snow. And I was like, yeah, dude, do it. But like, do this, and this to kind of make it funny. And I looked at it this morning. It was at 7.6 million views. And I just looked at it a couple minutes ago and it's about 12.6 million views. Wow. This is just this guy being himself, but he's a real estate agent, but now he gets leads because people that like him and think he's funny and he's a nice guy, and him and his wife are building a family and all this stuff. Now they just want to support him. It's like getting shot in the leg and getting a GoFundMe. It's like, it's just like, that's what it is. If people like you, they're going to be like, yep, we don't want that person to go or die. So we're just going to do whatever they're selling, we're buying. Yeah. And that's the mindset that you have to have in this business, period. And that's my biggest, I would say, like, that's the major thing that you need to focus on going in.
Todd, I love your attitude when it comes to, I've followed your stuff on social media. I love your energy because, like Jeff said before, you're very passionate about what you're saying, and you don't say things that you, from my vantage point, from talking for a few minutes and then seeing your stuff, you're not somebody who seems to say things that you don't mean. Yeah. So in that essence, my question to you is, what would you say is there? And I've come to the conclusion in my own personal life, there's no such thing as balance, although we try to do it though. But for those people who want to find the balance in terms of like, what's more important, quantity or quality when they want to post content out there? Or is it a consistency?
The funniest thing is, like, you're not going to like the answer. All 3. Right? Like, so I'll always give examples when I give answers. I hate that people, like, they'll be like this, do all those. And you're like, cool, man, thanks for that one. Like, you're obviously like some sort of like guru that lives in a temple and knows more than everyone else. I'm like, no. Mm-hmm. When I say like all of them, like, it's, if your goal, like, and my assumption is this, anybody that starts a personal brand, like, your end goal is, this is you and this is your business all wrapped into one thing, right? Like, it's a trust. And you can change that identity over time. And based on that, you're going to be into different things. So I'll give you an example. The consistency of putting up a piece of content every single day, a lot of people will say, hey, that's a good strategy. Hey, it is. It's a great strategy. But I have a friend of mine who runs a real estate page. It's all based on senseless humor. Inside real estate. It's a great page. I've shared it before my stories. If you guys follow me, it'll pop in there. But these guys sit down on Mondays, and very much like wrestling production, they have writing days. So they'll sit down on Mondays and Wednesdays. They'll write one skit that they're going to shoot on Thursday, on Monday. They'll write one skit that they're going to shoot on Friday, on Wednesday. And then they shoot these two videos. And then they distribute those videos on the platforms the following week. Those guys are probably averaging around 46 million views a month, and they've only put out 183 posts.
Wow.
So the argument or debate about consistency is king is not true. It's just not. Yeah. So now we're on to the quality conversation, right? Those 2 videos are shot in very high resolution, very high quality, very well edited, produced extremely well. I mean, literally looks like you could take it off the screen of the phone and put it onto Netflix and you'd be fine. So there's the quality. And I think that does have an edge again. Rewind it with if you're too consistent, then the quality, don't worry about it. If you're like going to be super, super, super mentally strategic about the content you're going to distribute, I wouldn't worry about the consistency as I would worry more about the quality for the presentation of what you're trying to do, entertain people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the last one you said? You said
well, there's the debate of quality over quantity, and then consistency in terms of that, where they're all kind of rolled into one. And how does one kind of venture it? Like you said before in the beginning, it seems like everyone says, hey, do all three. But there is, for some people, a misconception that, okay, I'm just doing all three, but with no really roadmap in terms of what they want to do.
What happens to us, though, I'll give us an example for you, Todd, so maybe you can, you hear the A word, which everyone goes crazy about. Oh, but the algorithm, right? They'll do the algorithm. And then there'll be like words like, well, this is the times you should and shouldn't post and stuff like that. And then people get it in their heads. And then they're like, you know what? Well, I'm too late. I'm past the 5 o'clock hour, so I'm going to wait till tomorrow. So Brian was just saying, like, it's the act of being consistent. At least post maybe once a day or something like that, and be consistent. I think out of all those that you were talking about, quantity, quality, I think just being consistent. Don't post one and then take a month off and then go back. I think the main one of those three would be consistency. If I could speak, yeah, I think that would be it.
Yeah, if you're a three day a week guy, then my recommendation would be like, dude, go super high quality, right? Like, put your best foot forward on those 3 posts. You'll be fine. If you're a quantity guy, then you're going to be like, dude, at some point you'll burn out without a team, right? We've had this conversation a million times. 50% of my team used to work for Gary Vee. And, one of my, literally my right-hand guy, Jason, was one of his videographers and editors, basically ran his Instagram for him for 3 or 4 years. And he's like, dude, there's 32 guys on the team daily working on all, 14 accounts that he's on. And we're putting out, 70, 80 pieces of content a day. Alex Hormozy, 250 pieces of content a day. So when people come to me and they're like, well, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I want to be like this guy, and I'm like, dude, first off, you ain't got the money. Okay? Because when I hit you with this invoice, you're going to be like, what? 400 grand. I'm going to be like, yes, I can get you there, but that's what it's going to take. P.S. That's a month. That's not a year. Wow. So this game that people are playing where I can get you, it doesn't work like that. You're better off going and filming your grandmother cooking, and people will just be like, dude, I'll donate 20 grand to you a month. I'm dead serious. This is the world we live in. And as you guys progress in the things that you're doing in your career with this, your elevation and guests will go up. Here's good news, right? You bring me on, just so happens the guy, Kent, who owns this company, Life Med Institute, in Timonium, Maryland, also located in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, and Pennsylvania. Okay. There's a bazillion pro wrestlers that come in there every single month. Maybe I introduce you to Kent. Kent decides, hey, I'll sponsor your podcast. Hey, I'm friends with these guys. Hey, I'll introduce you to these guys. Hey, maybe they'll come on your. That's all you need sometimes, is a relationship built out of relationships that you've built on social media. So I guess from my perspective with you, I look at it like, what can I do to help these guys? That's how I look at things like that.
Yeah, and network too, man. Because again, I took the shot. I was like, let me just hit him up, see if he wants to come on, do a wrestling podcast, and wrestling brought us together. So that is always cool, man. And it's always cool to have a conversation about wrestling, because it's a passion of ours, and we want to, we do these previews. We could be like everyone and just dissect it, but we want to talk about it with a fan. We want to talk about it with somebody that can, throw stuff back at us and stuff like that too. Yeah. So, Todd, I mean, man, again, we could talk to you for days here on their social media, but that's why, obviously, you do what you do. So we are on the road to WrestleMania, dude. It's amazing how quickly the year passes by, and this is our Christmas. Brian is always excited about this. So as
this is my Christmas season. Yeah, this is like Thanksgiving as we prepare for Christmas. Yeah.
Yes. And so as we are getting ready for Thanksgiving in the wrestling world, it's in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So it's taking a lot of hits because it's in Saudi Arabia. Everyone likes to whine and cry and bitch about something on social media. So this is one of the things that people are crying about, that the first time the Royal Rumble is outside of the States. Yeah. All right. But the main thing is, one of the main topics is AJ Styles. AJ Styles obviously an amazing wrestler, and a lot of people winding it down this year. We had John Cena in 2025 go, and now it looks like AJ Styles is going to retire a lot sooner than later. So the main question is AJ Styles retiring at the Royal Rumble. Is Gunther going to beat him? Now, the way they've done this, now, whether I'm a fan of him retiring this early, everyone wants him to his WrestleMania moment. But with everything that's been done so far, with the Shinsuke match at Saturday Night's Main Event, which is very emotional, which the CM Punk match, which was on Monday Night Raw, again, was emotional too. They had never faced off in the WWE ring before. So that was the first time. So a lot of first and last for AJ. Could have been his final Raw. Do you think, the way the story is leading up, do you think this is AJ's final match in Saudi Arabia at the Royal Rumble against Gunther?
I think it's his final match in Saudi Arabia against Gunther. I don't think it's his final match, but here's what I think AJ's lifespan is. Okay, AJ is he's close. He's damn near close to my age. I mean, I'm 47, but I know he's in his 40s, right? He's got to be.
Yeah, late 40s. Yeah.
So I know what he's going through body wise for somebody who's active. And I mean, I'm as active as probably he is, to be honest with you. I get it. I also get having kids, and as they get older, you're like, dude, I'm missing out on this. You start reflecting on your life in your 40s, and you're just like, I've been doing this my whole damn life. My wife has put up with this. So I'm looking at it from a personal perspective. What happens is this: he goes home, he plays video games, he has fun, he starts a podcast with his kids, and then things go on. And 4 years down the road, there's a rookie that comes through and says something, and next thing you know, AJ Styles comes back looking better than ever, looking like HBK with a 3-year run, with 5 more title runs. That's where I think AJ goes. AJ doesn't have to retire. If he does, which I think he will. I think he's choosing to walk away for a little while. And I think a couple years, 3 years down the road somewhere, you're going to see him do a return like an Edge, something like that, or Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, whichever way you want to look at it. I personally think Bryan Danielson character was better than Daniel Bryan, just my opinion, but whatever.
Both are.
I think that's where you end up.
Trent, what do you think? A lot of people say that he could be, his WWE career could end, but he could go to TNA for a little bit, wind up there. They did a lot of teasing on the first episode of TNA with a showdown with Kazarian and maybe a future matchup with Santana. What do you think, Trendsetter? Is TNA a possible destination in this storyline, which obviously has us all talking because we don't know how it's going to end?
Listen, this is another reason why I like having Todd here, because Todd is amazing to speak to, unlike you, Jeff, where it just like sometimes I just wish for the podcast to end so quickly. But nice to have Todd in here and bring that energy. No, I thank Todd for that, Jeff, and great job bringing him along. That's the one good thing you've done all in 2020.
A good guest.
But what I must say about this is that, listen, I'm somebody who loves Easter eggs. Like, I'll watch Marvel, I'll DC. Oh my God, they're the possibility this guy might come in the next movie or where the case might be. I love Easter eggs, and they are throwing a whole bunch of eggs out there in terms of stating that his WWE career will come to an end as opposed to his in-ring career comes to an end. AJ's already made it publicly known that 2026 was going to be his final year, and people are again anticipating, it's going to go into WrestleMania, maybe some other John Cena later into 2026, but not necessarily, because he just said 2026. We are in currently that year, and if that's the scenario, that's the scenario. It couldn't be written any more perfect, too, because of what happened with Gunther and how he retired John Cena. And we've talked about it, Jeff, time and time again. And Jeff and I say that Gunther is now the new legend killer because he retired Goldberg, retired John Cena, the greatest of all time in some people's eyes. And now a guy like AJ Styles, to have that aura about him, which he's, in terms of getting nuclear heat, Gunther is getting nuclear heat because people just despise the fact that he made John Cena tap out, and he's relishing in that in front of everybody, just hating him. That's great. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but not in the terms of the story, because then you're like, well, Brian, why did they tell the story? Here's why, though, because they want you to think and keep guessing. Unlike previous regimes where it was kind of pretty easy to kind of decide the direction they're going in, now they're throwing things at you in terms of like, well, AJ Styles debuted in WWE in 2016. 10 years later, what better way to retire than at the Royal Rumble again? So they're throwing this out there. I don't think it's going to happen, though, personally, because AJ came out, says, he has a lot more memories to give. He wants one more world title run. So people could say, that CM Punk one was his last title run or his last title shot. But I think to your point too, Jeff, if it does happen, which I don't think it will, I'll publicly state that now. I don't think he's going to lose to Gunther. But if it does happen, it does leave the boat open for TNA in that partnership, which we've wanted to see as well. Him have one more match in TNA, whether it's for the X Division title or for a world championship in TNA. That's the possibility, but I still think it's him being active because, Todd, this is the one thing I told Jeff too. We had a retirement tour for John Cena. Little did we know, or most people weren't paying attention, we were also at the same time having a retirement tour for AJ Styles, Finn Balor, John Cena, Shinsuke Nakamura. But it was in the background behind John Cena, and people weren't paying attention to it. So we have had that run, but just hasn't been in the public eye. And the one thing that's frustrating me the most about this, and I want to get your opinion, Jeff, and you, Todd, that the mere fact that we're talking about this now, this is the only time I could ever remember there is a story being built for AJ Styles that people are talking about, as opposed to, hey, let's just put him in a match here and let's put him there. There hasn't been enough respect, not in terms of respect for AJ Styles as a person and a professional wrestler, but respect of, hey, I have this guy for this amount of time. Why would I want to use them? And this is the only first ever important moment that I've seen this year for AJ Styles.
Yeah, Todd, you can take that one first, and then I'll talk about that. Just your thoughts on AJ.
I think they had to push him after the failed black trench coat, black jeans.
Oh yeah,
AJ. You know, I think that was. I liked physically. I think he looked better than ever. But he needed a push after that because that was a gimmick. I don't know where that gimmick came from. I don't know what he was thinking coming back with that, but I was like, no, this isn't going to work, man. Throw the crossbones back on and let's get to work. So one, I think he needed a push, but he looks physically really, really good.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how the ratings were for that TNA episode. If they were good, great. I don't know if that's on his. Me personally, I don't think it's on his list of things to do. And to the other point you made about Cena, that conversation when Cena took the mic and was introducing Styles there and giving him, basically, I mean, just putting him over on the mic, like before the match even friggin' started. That was another test to me going, this is it, dude. Like, and again, nobody really picked up on it because Cena didn't really do that with anybody else. No. He did it with AJ. So I don't know. I personally, I think you're going to see him in Royal Rumble. Maybe you'll see him do little things, but I think he's going to go away quietly. I don't think it's going to be a loud, he's out of here. I don't see that.
A lot of fans too are like, well, if he retires, I get the 10-year anniversary, which again, they mentioned that as well. And I think they're throwing too many things at us where they're like, wait a minute, now maybe it's making it too obvious that this is not going to happen because it might just keep going for a little bit longer. But it has us talking, which is good. I totally agree that AJ Styles, as far as runs, definitely has one more run left in him. And I totally believe that if he took some time off, maybe he comes back re-energized and somebody calls him out, we could see him from time to time show up. I think TNA is a possibility. You mentioned about how the ratings were for TNA. I think they've been underwhelming. I think it's been under 300,000 viewers, and I would believe it's been underwhelming. But for them, though, to start out on AMC seems to be happy. So we'll see if they can pick it up. I mean, for shows like that, you got to give them at least like 3 months, 4 or 5 months, whatever, to see how they can elevate. And I think with AJ Styles, maybe on programming could help them out a little bit. You could see matches like Santana and with a Frankie Kazarian to close out his career and maybe wind it down. I would love to see AJ in a Mania match because I think that's how it should be, a farewell. The only thing is they've built up Gunther so huge here that I just don't see how he gets out of it at WrestleMania without making Gunther look bad if he loses, because all this build up to beating John Cena and beating a Goldberg and retiring them, they've kind of painted themselves in a corner where they're like, okay, we've done all this, but how do we get AJ that win then? Or do we do a DQ, or do we do something like that where the match doesn't go through? It's also you got to think about Gunther though, because now what happens? How do you protect Gunther in a situation like this? Because if AJ gets the win, then you've kind of pulled back a little bit on Gunther's progress since beating John Cena. So a lot of stuff to think about. That's why this, to me, is the most, besides the men's Rumble, this is probably the most talked about matchup so far, because we've gotten the Easter eggs, we've gotten all that stuff and the talk. And I believe that this opens, actually the Royal Rumble. And everyone loves to talk about what opens the match, the show. I think AJ versus Gunther will open up Royal Rumble. What do you guys think?
But Jeff, isn't that what we want, though?
I do.
Isn't that what we don't want to predict? Well, we can sit here and debate the fact that, yes, they've set up Gunther in a scenario where how can you protect him, but also at the same time not hurt AJ if he does win this one? Could it be disqualification or not? Or the fact that this could be it. The way they're writing it out right now, you couldn't ask for a better ending scenario for AJ Styles, because if it's not Gunther, then who? Does he just go out quietly tonight and loses to some random, person, becomes a gatekeeper in a certain way as they elevate him to elevate a new star to another position? He just kind of goes out quietly. I mean, if there's ever a perfect way to go out into the sunset in Saudi Arabia, nonetheless, it would be this. So I love it because it's just not as predictable as you think it would be. And that's why I think I can, I never want to speak for anybody, but I think I can speak collectively for all of us here and people on the stream too. That's why we love talking about it, because it's not predictable.
And also too, and if it is AJ Styles' last match, I just want to say he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He has had an amazing career.
Yes,
this guy has. We've always wanted him to go to WWE. It was always the goal. Obviously, he was a TNA guy. Was the face that runs the place over there. Went to Japan, built himself up there. Killed it over there.
Yeah.
And he comes over here, and then he was afraid on the first time he came in whether they're going to recognize him or not. The pop he got in Orlando for the Royal Rumble, and then ever since, man, he's just had an unbelievable career. And I think that to redeem himself against Nakamura, because we were there live at WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans for that match against Nakamura, we were psyched for that one, and it totally underwhelmed. I don't know whether it was just, it just wasn't meant to be that night, but we were all psyched and a little deflated after that because it wasn't what we wanted it to be. Then you go to Saturday Night's main event, and it was. So we're happy with that. And then him and CM Punk, even though Finn Balor interfered, for the Toronto fans to get that main event, that had to be awesome for them. So if it were the end, I just want to say thank you to AJ Styles, because it is a tremendous career. And as we talk about also social media, Todd, one thing I've noticed in posting is the fans' fascination with the set and the way things look, because, dude, that gets so many views, dude. I cannot fathom why people are so interested in stages or being the first to leak and stuff like that, but that is just absolutely wild. And to think, guys, that this stadium was built in give or take 30 days from scratch in Saudi Arabia, and it takes us 30 years to build a highway, is freaking ridiculous, guys. Like, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this WWE Saudi Arabia stadium that got built in like 30 days? If you've seen the pictures for it, it is insane that they got this done on time.
What can you say? I mean,
it's crazy.
It's taken. The Key Bridge goes down in Baltimore, right, in Maryland, which is one of the most important bridges for transportation when it comes to water, and for people to get to work from Maryland to Virginia and DC. Very, very, very important bridge. And I think the first time they built it, it costs maybe $2 million, $3 million, or whatever it was back in the 70s or 80s. I think now, after it exploded, I think now it's like 38 billion, and it's going to take like 4.5 years. I don't know how that happens. So here's my answer to you. Maybe a corrupt government in Saudi Arabia built it because they wanted to make the money. So they showed, hey, we can build friggin' stadiums in 30 days as long as we're getting paid.
They have tons.
And I think we could too, as long as they were getting paid.
They have tons of money, and you can't blame WWE for taking their shows there, dude. I mean, come on. What I think, guys, is like
politics into wrestling.
Unless you run a business like that, you don't know that. You know what I mean? Like, listen.
I love how people take moral ground, Jeff. People take moral grounds and moral feet when they have no idea, they have no skin in the game, and they have no idea what that would entail themselves personally. So it's very easy to be Monday morning quarterback, like, oh, I would go this guy. I would have started that guy in this game.
We're all
Done
human.
this. Yeah.
We're all human beings, and in the famous words of $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, everybody has a price. Everybody has a price. And that's just what I'll leave it at that. The women's Royal Rumble match, it is, to me, probably going to be the most star-studded field because it is deep. Maybe there will be some surprises. I think some people from NXT will show up. The surprises, I believe, would be the returns. I think we'll see Tiffany Stratton come back. Bianca Belair, this finger injury is taking forever, man. That is upsetting too. Hopefully she comes back soon. But AJ Lee and then maybe a Paige, who they found a video of her training. Just your thoughts on this year's Women's Royal Rumble, because it's wide open, because you have the tag team champions in Rhea and Io. You have Liv could win this, but it's just wide open this year where I think there could be a lot of women involved here. Just your thoughts on this Women's Royal Rumble match, and if you think there's any surprises in store on Saturday.
Who's the girl in NXT that is just smashing everyone blind?
Kendall Gray?
Yeah, dude, she's my favorite. She's my favorite female wrestler. Excuse me, maybe of all time, and I'm hoping to see her in the Royal Rumble because she is amazing in the ring, and I think we'll get a very quick push when she gets in. I see Liv Morgan winning, safe win, safe person to put the belt on. We know people like the Judgment Day. They do. Whether you still want that faction to be around or not, they like them. And so I think Liv Morgan walks away with it. I don't think anything else kind of comes out of it. I think the female wrestling roster is star-packed right now, more than the guys. And I'm actually enjoying the women's matches more, not only in WWE, but in UFC.
Yeah.
So I got to say, I'm actually sometimes more excited to watch the girls' Royal Rumble than the guys.
No, yeah. I mean, I would agree with Todd on that end too. I mean, the fact that we're so invested in the quality of talent that you see on the, not just Evolve, the NXT roster, and you look at the Raw and SmackDown. I mean, it's a great problem to have where everything can happen. Like you said, we have surprise returns. I agree. I was going to say that too. My prediction was going to be Liv Morgan winning this one because right now it just seems like since her return back and what she did to John Cena in terms of helping Dirty Dom regain the title, it's like they really want to make her an impact player. Now, whether she's going to be the leader of the Judgment Day going forward, if Finn's still kind of beside himself, well, after all, kind of maybe not, who knows, but that might be playing itself out as we go into WrestleMania. I just think Liv is set for it. And it's amazing too, Todd, when you think about it. Here was Liv Morgan not too long ago, and I said this to Jeff too, that she was in a scenario with Rhea Ripley, and she got injured for a long period of time due to the character of Rhea Ripley, came back. It looked like it was going to be a one and done because Rhea was on such a trajectory going forward that it was probably going to be like one or two matches. Rhea gets injured, and Liv just takes that ball and runs with it. Is given the opportunity, and we have a storyline so deep and so long. That's what she said. The scenario that we are so invested in what's going on. Dirty Dom turns on Mommy. She goes down with Liv. And then finally it comes to, the end where Rhea actually defeats Liv Morgan for the world title. But what an amazing opportunity that somebody took. That was probably not going to be given to her. It wasn't guaranteed, but just so happens that Rhea Ripley got injured and she ran with it. And to me, she's a star. People will critique her wrestling. I don't care because as much as I'm a true, pure wrestling fan, I love the movesets and stuff like that and chemistry and psychology in the ring. If you can tell a story and people can relate to you, you are a star in that sense. I think Liv is going to do that and going for the world title. So I got Liv Morgan winning the Royal Rumble.
I totally agree. I think we're going to go all in on Liv Morgan because, dude, did you see her acting job that she did with Finn Balor in that? I mean, she is killing it, dude. And you got to respect that. I would suggest you take a look at that Stephanie McMahon podcast that she did with Liv Morgan, and you see her background and everything that she's been through and how this is something that she's always envisioned. And listen, for a couple of years ago, she was an afterthought. And that maybe that Money in the Bank briefcase was a token win and stuff, but beat Ronda Rousey. That was her trajectory. Then she has to, then she gets injured, comes back, and then just totally, just like the trendsetter said, like Brian said, she totally took the ball and rolled with it on the Liv Morgan tour. She used, her facial expressions, her story. Her and Dirty Dom, to me, are a better couple than Rhea and Dom were, right? I mean, I totally agree with that. And give her kudos, dude, because this is somebody that not only you choose to root for in the ring, but out of it too, because she's a great example of what happens when you take that opportunity that's given to you, and someone that just, this was her dream, and she went for it too. So besides that though, it's to me, it's hers to win, man. And then she mentioned in an interview how Saudi's been good to her, man. So she won that
she beat Becky Lynch to become the women's world champion.
Yeah. She did all that stuff. So it's been good to her. So I see her winning. Now, as far as surprises, guys, Tiffany Stratton's going to come back. I totally believe that's going to happen too. But what about Paige? You think Paige comes back on Saturday?
I don't know who else they could bring back, right? I mean, do you have a Trish Stratus or or Lita? You already did that, right? Yeah. Like, so it's like, who else is there? Like, who else do we bring back? I think at this point, Paige is probably. Is she still with that rock and roll guy, the lead singer?
No, they broke up.
She's not with Radke anymore, so she's probably hurting for money. So, maybe it's time. Look, there would be no better time for her to come back than that.
No,
she goes in, she hits, 3, 4, 5 moves, goes down, and then it gets eliminated. Maybe she's one of the last people eliminated. Great, that sets up a nice trajectory for her. And see, I think this is what's great about the Royal Rumble, girls and guys. You don't have to win the Royal Rumble to get over. And that's what's great about it, man. Like, God, if you can be one of the last 4 in there or 3 in there, that can put you on a great storyline for 6 months. And that's what I'm hoping for really on both sides, that there's some really good storylines that come out of the last 4 people in both Royal Rumbles.
Yeah, I think too, and you can also win at Elimination Chamber as well too, because you can earn that final spot at Mania with that. So that's a good thing that they do. That Royal Rumble doesn't have to be the end all be all. You do have a chance to redeem yourself at the Elimination Chamber, which is in Chicago. So I don't know about Paige though. Like I said, she could be cleared in AEW, but I don't know if doctors would clear her in WWE with the whole neck issues and stuff like that. It'd be good to see her back. But again, I think we're all on board that Liv Morgan walks away the winner of the Royal Rumble women's match. The Undisputed Championship is on the line. Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. Listen, we gave Drew his flowers because he should have been champion a long time ago. I'm glad that Cody was able to sit down with, Hunter and all of them and push for a title change, because I think Cody is good at chasing than holding on to that championship, especially with this one, which has kind of been a little bit dry. And Drew, he's worked his ass off. Here's another guy that took to social media and used it to his advantage, Todd. I mean, he is one of the best trolls that I've ever seen. I mean, he posted Sami Zayn, and then he posted the Hulk Hogan NWO doesn't work for me, brother video for just the troll. He is his promo skills have been awesome. The reason why he's turned heel has been awesome, and I'm glad he's getting what he deserves to, because Drew McIntyre has taken that social media game and upped it for the other wrestlers.
Yeah, I saw a video maybe 2 hours before we hopped on the episode, and I was like, this guy's take was interesting. He was like, Zayn beats out McIntyre. Zayn goes on to fight Cody, or something like that. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I'm like, you can't. I was like, this has got to be McIntyre's run. Like, this is his run. Sammy's a layup. I mean, I again hate to say something bad, but Sammy is the Ron Killings of today. He like, well, where are we putting him this week, boys? I don't know. It's his best run was when he was with Roman. Outside of that, and when he was with Jay and those guys, like, if I were him, I would be knocking on their door, being like, dude, can I get back in? Like, without Kevin there, he's buck naked, man. He doesn't know. They don't know what to do with him. So they throw him in the match. I get zero enjoyment out of Sami Zayn. I get zero enjoyment out of watching him wrestle. I don't like this match at all. I think it's a squash match for Drew, and it's just to make him look considerably more powerful, which I'm very happy with because he's sponsored by LifeMed.
Yes.
Is he really? That's cool.
Yeah, he is sponsored by LifeMed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So have you met Drew or no?
Yeah, I actually met Drew once. Shook his hand. Great guy. Super nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm lucky enough to have one of the owners that works there call me and be like, "Blank's here. Come now." So I'm like, all right. Walked out of there one day and shook hands with Mark Henry. Hung out with him. That was pretty cool. Kenny Omega. I mean, the list goes on, dude. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
We had our Drew McIntyre story is we're in Orlando. It's the day that he made his NXT debut. He had finished wrestling a show earlier, so he's actually walking out through the parking lot. Well, actually walking in the like we're near the parking lot, and we actually are just talking to him, whatever like that. And he's like just asking what's going on.
He basically asked me, "Where's the parking garage?"
Oh, where's the parking garage? Whatever like that. And little did we know that he was going to show up on NXT, the one that
in his wrestling gear.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing a show.
Yeah.
Did an interview for a local show on satellite radio, and then walks down. I see him. Jeff's like, "Bro, that's Drew McIntyre." I turn around. I have to look like so high up because he's so gigantic.
Yeah.
And he says to me in a very like legible Scottish accent, I could actually understand him. He was like, "Do you know where the parking lot is?" I was like, "Yeah, it's right over there." He's with his wife, and I'm thinking like, holy crap.
Yeah.
This guy would kill me in a second.
Dude, when you see these guys in person, you're like, oh, like Mike O'Hearn. I'm like,
sorry, I got thrown in there. Soft hands too. I shook his hand.
All wrestlers have soft
nice,
hands, dude.
Soft grip.
Yeah, all wrestlers have that, dude, which is crazy, man. You think they have this rugged? No, they're just like just whatever, and you're like, okay, you feel comfortable. They make you feel comfortable because if not, I'd be scared out of mind of these dudes.
Yeah. Nicest people. I mean, quite honestly, I don't think I've ever had a bad experience meeting any wrestler.
No, yeah.
They're just fans like us. That's all.
Has there ever been a moment though you've about to meet a wrestler and you're like, okay, don't be a mark, don't fanboy here.
Yep, I definitely did not want to mark on Omega.
Okay.
Yes.
Like I didn't want to be like one-winged angel, like I just was like, hey, Kenny, nice to meet you, man. And he was like, no, he was super cool, right? But again, I've always been a huge fan of a lot of heels, and obviously, I'm very picky about the guys that I attach my wagon to, and it's always been more of like the Clique and NWO and Bullet Club, and I'm very heavy on factions, because I think they build up characters way better and way faster that you can form out very quickly into solo careers. So I'm a big fan of all that stuff. So when I meet those guys, I'm always like, I trip out. I'm like,
what's your greatest faction of all time?
Put him on the spot there, Jeff.
I gotta say Wolfpack, and the only reason I say that is because the reason I say the Wolfpack is because it was the first time that I saw a faction that was so elitely powerful. Like when I was I remember sitting there when you see like the real full faction where it was Macho and Sting and Luger and Nash and Conan, and then like Rude and Henning were back there, and I'm just sitting there like watching, and I'm like, dude, what is this faction? Holy cow. And then the music would hit, and then I'm like, and then they started throwing up that, the Turkish mob sign. And I'm like, dude, these guys, and it was, we're talking 96, 97, height of 90s rap, hip hop, like where it was the best of all time. And they adopted that type of environment into the theater. And it just meshed up really well with the generation. So I would have to say the Wolfpack were by far still to this day, like my top faction.
Jeff, what about you?
I am going to go honestly the Horsemen.
I knew you would do that.
Just because of the whole gimmick, dude. They lived the freaking gimmick. Dude, when they did that documentary of the Horsemen, and they showed people in the audience with the suits and everything. Dude, who wouldn't want to live that lifestyle? You know, I get that. I know factions are cool. I think sometimes when you're a bad faction, you try to be cool sometimes. I love Bullet Club, but they were cool. And so they weren't that heelish kind of, you know, DX too. It was cool to do, but the Horsemen were just like that, the pure heels. You talk about being a pure heel, right? That was just as heel as it got. When you go back to them, when they did that to Dusty, and then they, you know, the whole truck and the whole accident and stuff like that, and they couldn't even get out of the arenas and stuff like that because it was just heat. It was nuclear heat. And that's why I think, you know, everyone wanted to be them. You did the little Ric Flair in the mirror. You wanted to style and profile. You wanted to be a ladies. For who wouldn't want to be the Horseman? So that's why I would say exactly, little strut. Who wouldn't want to be the Horseman? So I would say that was my favorite faction. You, Trendsetter?
Oh, man, you stole a good one right there. And then NWO is a really good one too. People still wear the shirt NWO black and white. So that's how impactful that's been there too. And speaking of Ric Flair, he's still living the gimmick right now.
Yep.
To the end of the earth.
To the end, dude.
Imagine that, dude. You get
almost happened, and he kicked out, and he is still living the gimmick.
He kicks out at 2 3/4, and just goes back to the drinking and the boozing.
Yeah.
But as long as he does squats in the morning, he's good to go. You know,
he's like Mick Jagger, dude.
Yeah,
it's just crazy. You know, here's the thing, though. I got to give like a rub to the Judgment Day, though. The reason I say that is because they're this generation's like DX, like fun DX. And the only reason I say that is this: like us, we look at them like, and we'll look at them, right? And I'll give a perfect example. I look at Finn, and I'm like, dude, why is he changing his gear? Like, why is he going to the baggy pants and the friggin' high top Nikes? And like, what's he doing? But then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, the kids that are watching this that are in high school, man, like that's how they dress. So he's trying to like get that perception of that youthful audience to follow him. Obviously, Dom's character 10x by joining Judgment Day. It's like not, I mean, again, he's probably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time right now. Like, hands down. Like, that kid is Teflon right now.
Kid is money too, man. He's taking that heel gimmick and he knows how to work it. And if you would have told me, seeing him in the beginning when he came, all shucks and that clean face, he looked like he was 12 when he was like 24, whatever that 22, and for him to be where he's at now. Remember he took all that whipping from Seth Rollins and stuff like that Singapore Cane. Man, he earned his stripes, dude, and he's earned everything, dude. And what I hear, he's one of the most humblest guys and stuff like that. So, I mean, his son his father's a legend, and Rey Mysterio, and people. It's tough, man. It's tough to get into that
father, Eddie Guerrero, too.
Yeah. I'm sorry, his real dad, Eddie Guerrero, and his his deadbeat dad, and Rey Mysterio. But to step out of that shadow, it's hard sometimes, and he's done it, man. I guess he's gonna go down and be more successful than his dad, which is
he wouldn't have been able to be on the trajectory he is though if he wouldn't have had a heel turn. If he would have stayed face, he would have floundered into probably mid card, low card. Okay, without that heel turn, now he's done such a good heel run that he's done what many like a Triple H or a CM Punk have done, where they've had such a solid heel run that they work themselves. They pull a work on themselves and work themselves into a face position, especially after they get injured. So there's no way this guy comes back as a heel. Has to be babyface when he comes back, or at least a gray area babyface.
It's going to start sooner than later.
Has to happen.
SummerSlam, people are going crazy. When you won at WrestleMania, people are starting to cheer. In AAA, he's a god over there. They love him. So the natural evolution for all the heels are to become the face, and he's definitely the future. It will definitely come in sooner than later. It's going to suck when him and Liv split. Maybe it happens, maybe they don't, but you could see maybe both of them turn faces and stuff. But I think Dom is on that trajectory of being an all-time great. And so and the Judgment Day too, man. Yeah, Finn Balor, they adjust, man. They adjust with the trends and stuff. And Finn Balor, I think Bullet Club, Judgment Day is very underrated, trendsetter, right?
Yeah, and I think Trendsetter, you're right, because Finn makes him relevant because he started Bullet Club. But and I hate to jump in and say this, but I truly think that this is like a really important thing. I don't think Finn gets the push that he's getting right now without Dom getting injured, because now that Finn gets the push, you got to push him out of the Judgment Day. right? You got to push Finn out. So when Dom comes back, because again, you got Triple H running things here. You got a lot of returns that have happened this way before, right? If he comes back, he's got to come back as the face. And I think the first battle right out of the gate has got to be probably Finn.
I would think so too. Especially because they planted seeds there too when he did win the Intercontinental title, and Finn was like, you stole it from me. I mean, yeah, there's been scenarios there where obviously Finn is now battling within himself of like what he wants to do, and we heard he was gonna have a singles run or a big push in 2025. Didn't really happen. There were some certain things there. I mean, he became tag team champions. He was more involved, and I guess in more important storylines, but didn't get that run that we kind of wanted to see him ever since he lost the Universal title after being injured with the shoulder due to Seth Rollins. But to me, and answer your question real quick, Jeff, to me, you guys used the Horsemen, NWO. But to me, I guess if I had to pick one right now, it's going to be, I would have to say Bullet Club, because we just talked about Finn, the integral manner in which he was on Cody Rhodes' podcast. Congratulations, Cody. We plugged you on your show finally. We love him though. But the mere fact he was on the show saying that it was just kind of a spur of low moment. And like, I love those moments where like, you're not thinking 10 years ahead. You're just thinking, well, he does bullets. I do this. I'm a shooter. Let's call ourselves Bullet Club. And the way it went and how much money Finn is owed in his whole life is ridiculous in terms of that. And then you look at the evolutions of what Bullet Club was. Now, I know Bullet Club is gone now. It doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. But the mere fact of how far in the peak it went, in my opinion, guys, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but if it wasn't for Bullet Club, I don't think we get All Elite Wrestling. Because Bullet Club to go to Hot Topic, and then people say, "Oh my God, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh my God, the Elite." And now we have Cody in here and stuff like that. And then those guys all being on the same page, and then having their contracts expire. If it wasn't for Bullet Club combining those guys and elevating those guys, and especially not having just an international impact, but all around the world, Jeff and I would go to events, WWE events, and people would have on Bullet Club shirts. People like, it's reaching people. Outside of WWE is bubble.
2018 was Bullet Club
people. And to me, that's very impactful. And I think, as time goes by, as we guys get wiser, and I never say older, as we get wiser, we can dissect and think the huge impact the Bullet Club had on the industry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just relevant now. I mean, I think people know, I mean, that was not probably a great decision. Like, that probably wasn't an easy decision. Let's say that for New Japan to be like, how do we, like, they make so much money from merchandise. Like,
it was just time because
and I mean, like, and I think you kind of looked at the faction too, and you're just kind of like, what are we doing here? We are.
It got watered down really, really fast and stuff like that. We can get into that, but that's a whole other podcast. Yeah. So I think we all agree on Drew. So I think we got Liv, Drew, and I think I have Gunther winning. You guys have
I've got Styles winning this one.
Styles, you've got Todd. You got Styles.
No, I have Gunther winning this.
Gunther win. Okay, so Gunther and Styles. So now let's go to probably the one that gets talked about the most. It's the Royal Rumble match itself, the men's matchup. Again, lots of things to do. Seth Rollins said he wouldn't be there, but can you really trust Seth Rollins? But he was on ESPN and he said he can't make it there. Obviously, he's still healing up. Brock Lesnar will be sure. Brock Lesnar will be back there. Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, will be back at the Royal Rumble, and Obafemi gets his own freaking poster for this. He will make his main roster debut at the Rumble. Rey Mysterio, it looks like he's healthy. He's going to compete in that Rumble. Gunther will be doing double duty. He's in the match. Can the Vision keep that one mission and make it that Braun Breaker is advances and goes to WrestleMania? So many questions, dude. Who's going to be there from NXT? Finn Balor can't even get in this thing. We'll see if that changes now. If Finn Balor gets in that Royal Rumble match, and of course surprises. I'm gonna start with the surprises, guys. And there's only one person that would have the world talking if he comes back at the Royal Rumble. So much talk of it happening. Will it happen at the Royal Rumble? And that is Chris Jericho. Will Chris Jericho make his WWE return at the Royal Rumble?
I say if there's no better time, it would have to be at the Rumble. It has to be.
Yeah.
I was going to say the exact same thing because what are you going to do? Wait for it to be the following night if it's a Raw or something like that? No, it's got to be WrestleMania.
No,
has to be.
Yeah. And again, too, like, obviously someone that's doing their, research here, Fozzy, which I like Fozzy. I think he's done a good job with that band and stuff. So I'm a huge Fozzy fan. They're going to be overseas in February. So if he's going to debut in the company soon, it has to be this weekend. So we'll see what happens there. So I think we do see Chris Jericho. I think it's kind of died down now because a lot of people thought he'd be there at the January 5th show at MSG. And so that didn't happen, but the talk has died down. Obviously, still, I don't know if he's still on the alumni page of AEW, but we'll see. I don't know why he would stay in AEW. He's done everything he can over there. So I think he will be there, but is it going to be the Rumble? So I think so too. So now the Royal Rumble, again, it is star-studded. There could be some surprises, but I think that's the only one that we could see. Now, who is going to win? Does Roman Reigns, the OTC, come back and win? Does Cody win his third one and tie Steve Austin? So many things to discuss. Todd, what are you leaning towards here? Who's going to win the Royal Rumble?
Oof. Dude, this is a stretch, maybe, but I think they're gonna push Braun over.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna win, and I am a big Braun fan right now. I like him. I like that kid a lot. So I think he's going over. But I think the last three that are going to be in there are going to be very vital and important moving forward. So that's where I'll leave it.
All right. That's another question too. Who's going to be the final four? I'll get to that in a second though. So as I do my perfect or my best Stephen A. Smith impression as I take my deep breath, like I don't know. There's so many ways you can go about this. And we don't care. We don't care. Listen, this is another Royal Rumble, although it hasn't been promoted like Jeff and I talked about earlier. When you look at these matchups, and there are not that many matchups on the card too, and that's another thing that Jeff kind of complains about and is upset with, as well he should be, because if you're going to these events and you're only going to see 4 matches, it's like, wow, like the amount of pricing that TKO and WWE charges for these events for 4 matches for Royal Rumble, one of the top 4 major events of the year. That's something to say. I just feel, honestly, I mean, you mentioned Braun Breaker. Love Braun Breaker. The scenario in terms of, Jeff mentioned Roman Reigns. I just think right now, in the direction things are Cody winning a third one, I don't think it's going to be Cody, and I don't think it's going to be Braun Breaker. I think right now, as so many people debate time and time again, especially what we heard during Saturday night's main event about, you want to set the crowd home happy. You didn't want John Cena to tap out, blah, blah, blah. I think in this scenario, you send the crowd home happy because Roman Reigns has made it known, and people can debate about his schedule all they want, has been impactful enough that when he makes his return and wins the Royal Rumble, actually goes towards WrestleMania to face either the world champion or the WWE champion. I think that bodes more interest from the general public than anything. Jeff and I have talked about it time and time again, ever since he lost the title to Cody at 40. And that's now going to be 2 years in the making now in terms of close to it, in terms of when he lost the title. He has not been that same tribal chief in terms of era of dominance right now. I feel we get a little bit of that back because the last time we saw Roman, he had mentioned to Cody, who was currently the champion at the time, and CM Punk as a world champion, throwing that Easter egg out there that title would look good on me, not mentioning which one. Dude, it's capable there. I think I know what direction they're going with the WWE Undisputed Championship. But again, Roman Reigns been there, done that. I think if you lean towards that, and we have a possibility of seeing, I know people are going to hate me when I say this, they want a Braun Breaker CM Punk main event, but a CM Punk Roman Reigns main event at WrestleMania night 1 or 2, that's box office to me. And if we're talking anything about business here, guys, what makes more money right now? A future main eventer and Braun Breaker who's on his way there, or a current one that's going to draw money at Roman Reigns and CM Punk?
I think Braun should have won on January 5th. I think that was his time to see a new champion. They had promised new changes in WWE in 2026, pushing the younger guys. When that didn't happen, I don't think people now are craving for that rematch between Braun and CM Punk. I want to say Roman Reigns. I believe 99.9% it's going to be Roman Reigns. And I think he chooses Punk because I think, guys, I would say that to me, it's going to be a triple threat match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. Some way, somehow, that's going to happen on the other side. So I would think that Roman and Punk would be the ideal matchup to have for the World Championship. So I think I agree on that point. But I'm going to say this, though. They could take Roman out of it and have him maybe take on a guy like Braun Breaker in a WrestleMania match, because there is history there. And maybe the sleeper, I would say this, the sleeper to me is going to be Obafemi.
Yes.
Because that I could see him somehow, if not winning it, he'll be in the 4. I could see Brock, Gunther, Braun Breaker, and Oba as the final.
Dude, I'm not joking with you. That was the 4 I wrote down.
Yeah, because
that was my final 4.
Because Oba he is on a trajectory which they love him. They love this guy.
Yep.
Again, has his own poster. They just have this feeling that he is going to be the next guy. And listen, I'll give you another thing too. I could see where if they're not going to continue AJ and Gunther, whatever, I see Gunther and Brock having an altercation at the Rumble, where that leads to a matchup at Mania. I think that's where we begin the seeds for a Brock versus Gunther match. So this is the most match that I'm looking forward to watching. So, but if it's not Roman, guys, I think Obafemi is going to be the sleeper one to pick. Trendsetter, what do you think?
Well, again, that's a fair one to make in terms of a wild card. I don't expect Obafemi to do anything. I expect Oba to make an impact, to eliminate a whole bunch of guys, to make himself look good. Like with Todd's point too, you don't need to win the Royal Rumble to make an impact and get over. If Oba starts dominating everybody, kind of like throwing everybody out the ring like Kane did, or you know, in that type of impact, you're going to look at big star, big position, but is he going to win the Rumble? I highly doubt it. To me, it's either Roman Reigns or, like what Todd said, a Braun Breaker. I just think in the scenario of this right now, what makes the most, and I hate to say this because there's no such thing as logical sense of pro wrestling, but to me, what makes a bigger impact of a show, especially the fact that you're going back to Las Vegas a second year. First one that was there, WrestleMania 41, underwhelmed people. You want to overwhelm them, put CM Punk and Roman Reigns on the card by itself, I think draws attention. People want to go see this event, knowing the fact that these guys have good chemistry together. We saw what happened in last year's WrestleMania, and that triple threat match was great. Why wouldn't you want to see that? In terms of this, it's clear to anybody here that's on the stream watching it that we're going to obviously have a great indication of what's going to happen towards WrestleMania. If Roman wins it, if we have Liv Morgan win it, we kind of know the trajectory of where they're going to go. And now the thing, though, this is what I like about it too. The mere fact that when Royal Rumble's over, we'd always think, okay, that's it. It's Mania. Now what I look forward to would be Elimination Chamber and how we get the other side set up and ready to go. Because, Jeff, another point I wanted to make, you said Chris Jericho returning, right? And I said, I'll correct myself here, if not the Royal Rumble, then when? Well, if Elimination Chamber is going to be in the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, didn't Chris Jericho make his debut in Chicago?
Yeah, it's true. It just
depends. Maybe we have something like that if it's not at the Royal Rumble.
It depends if Fozzy, because I think Fozzy's touring overseas in February. So I think it starts the 7th. So if it's in February, you'd have to see. I mean, there's no reason why Jericho couldn't fly over. I mean, that's just, that's also another thing too. He could show up there too when you least expect to, because he likes surprises and stuff like that. So definitely you could see that. But as far as the Rumble though, I think Roman or Braun Breaker. But I think that the fans would want to see more Roman Reigns and CM Punk than a Braun Breaker. His time will come. Maybe a SummerSlam or something like that. But after watching Breaker and Punk that first time, I'm kind of not clamoring for another rematch too soon. So I think I've got Roman. Trendsetter, you've got
Roman,
and Todd, I
got Braun.
So I mean, those are the two favorites, dude. I mean, those are the two. So I mean, I talked about my sleeper in Obafemi. I could see definitely him being that Kane role where he eliminates a lot of guys, and they talk about him, and then following Monday night saying how he eliminated, or he broke Kane's record. He broke that streak too. But Oba is going to make an impact at the Rumble. And as far as also too, I'm going to just throw it there. I think we get a Gunther and Brock. We start seeing that tease of that feud too. I definitely could see that. So
I also got a surprise real quick. I see Ron Killings or R-Truth, whatever he wants to call himself, in the Rumble. Gets attacked by Finn Balor, and Finn Balor gets himself into the Rumble.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a good one.
There you go.
Ron has had bad experiences with Rumbles that he can't get in it. So it's like, I see that happening.
Hey, man. So listen, obviously you're talking Royal Rumble. You can see how we get excited making all these scenarios and stuff like that. And that's why I love talking to the wrestling fans, because that kid comes out of you too, that booker that wants to plan it and what's going to happen. So I think it's just a cool thing to do, to talk to fans and talk to people that are wrestling fans and can talk about this stuff too. So Todd, man, I really appreciate the time, man. And again, you can go to toddcollins.com. Any kind of social media help, he will help you out and stuff like that. Look at his strategies, look at his TikTok following, look at his Instagram followers too, killing it. And obviously you can tell the passion that he has.
Man himself. What an amazing beard. Finally have a guy here with a beard that we can talk about. And I know, Jeff, you're trying, and it's a decent effort, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah, you got to get some HGH.
Then
you can start getting the peaks.
There you go.
Stuff like that. And then the beard just is like a side effect of just,
testosterone.
Good side effect. Makes you look like a badass, dude.
No,
best, bro.
Yeah, you look like a little bit of Braun yourself too. Does he look like Braun Breaker a little bit?
Looks a little Braun Breaker. Yeah.
I'll take it.
There you go, man.
When you had the blonde going, I'm not gonna lie though, when you had the blonde going, you kind of had a little Enzo Amore kind of thing to you.
It's actually, I met him too. I've met him multiple times.
He's a
great
good
guy.
He is a
nice guy.
Great guy.
He is on all the time. He is not. There's no off button on that guy.
Yeah, and it's funny. Actually, I think the time that I met him, my hair was blonde and it was dyed, and it might have been growing out. I did that for a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Okay.
And yeah,
because we all have those moments, Todd, when we need to change. I have like blonde hair and stuff like that. So there's time we all, as dudes, we need to change it up, either shave it or maybe dye it and stuff like that too. So
I didn't do the blonde. I did the grays, and these are natural highlights, by the way. And
you got that Tamatanga look to you, man.
Yeah, damn, definitely. And then all this is due to Jeff. So
yeah, he's got to paint his face white and do the Tamatanga. For Halloween, dude, or cosplay, man. That would look sick.
MFTs, dude.
Yes. That's another faction. Look, I'm sorry I'll let you guys go, but that faction again, that whole faction right there, spectacular.
And bloodline, man. Like honestly, the Samoan style, dude, Samoan bloodline tree line is ridiculous. It's crazy.
It's so good.
I will tell you one thing.
So good, bro.
The best storyline in the last 10 years is definitely the.
Really, they don't believe in contraceptions, man. They're growing them out, especially in the indie scene too. It's ridiculous in terms of the influence.
You're going to see that family succeed in this business like you've never seen a family succeed before. And here's the cool thing: they knew it. They saw that. They knew that they had to build an army to take over this business, and they very well might, because you got to remember who's at the very, very tippy top, the real tribal chief.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So don't forget that.
Yeah. Oh man.
One day WWE will be most likely owned by The Rock.
Yeah. Well, mad at Dwayne though with his I'm so mad at him with the whole not showing up for the feud with Cena and Travis Scott. That thing was like, and then they had to make a shift. And it was just like, Dwayne, dude, you killed it, man. And he shows up. Then he shows up on the first episode of Netflix, kissing Cody's ass. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell then was WrestleMania 40 about? Because
don't boo Cody.
Oh my God. I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
It's so funny when the protection comes on. The protection starts to come on. You're like, oh my God, dude. Yeah. And the fans know it right away. They're like, nope, we all hate that guy now.
Exactly.
And then he was like, Cody, I want your soul. And listen, I'm telling you this. If he
wait, Jeff, real quick, to that point too, to Todd's point too, in terms of them taking over the business, people even made the jokes too. Like you have one Royal Rumble for the men and then one for the entire Samoan tree line in terms of 30 men over the top of a battle royal.
Yeah. And I'd watch it because every friggin' one of them are amazing.
Yeah. Oh, they would do it in a second. But I got to be fair, factions, the bloodline was the best storyline in like the last 10 years. That storyline was absolutely amazing. And I think they ended it too soon. But hey, you know what? Because when they said it, they said they were like in the 6th inning. And then all of a sudden Netflix happens and then boom, bottom of the 9th. And that was it. I was like, what? So I don't know. But again, though, guys, listen, Todd, thank you so much. Appreciate you the time. Definitely. Hey, you're always welcome on the show, dude. We can talk some wrestling, shoot the breeze, and stuff like that. And definitely,
we definitely have to do WrestleMania. We definitely have to now. We have to talk about WrestleMania.
I will 100% come back whenever you guys want me, dude. I can do this forever. I love it.
And then, and totally respect what you do, dude. And again, we take your advice and stuff like that, and we definitely put it into what we do, and obviously we can see the growth with our channel and stuff like that. So definitely appreciate you. And again, dude, this is the guy to come see. Need any strategy, social media, digital marketing? This is the dude right here, man. Can verify, can vouch for it 100%. Todd, thank you for joining us. Appreciate the time. Trendsetter, man, close it the way you always do, buddy.
So for Todd Collins, who's now a member of the Jersey Wrecking Crew, for my tag team partner, Jeff Martin, I am the Trendsetter. We are, all three of us, the Jersey Wrecking Crew, although he's in PA.
Honorary Jersey guy, yeah.
Honorary Jersey guy. Guys, thank you so much for joining this live stream. We've talked about Royal Rumble, predictions, previews. Now, guys, enjoy it. For what it's worth, we can bicker all we want, but at the end of the day, we're all fans at heart. Let's just enjoy it for what it's worth, and let's see what happens, as this is my Thanksgiving to the road to WrestleMania, guys, and to Las Vegas. Guys, enjoy it so much. We thank you. Remember, one very important thing, guys, that we do this for one reason only. We do this for you, the crew.